Hey guys, welcome to Not So Random Chat, the nighttime live stream where we talk about whatever we want to. So, settle in and grab you a libation. It could be your wine or tea or coffee or whatever you want to drink. And let's just sit back and chill. I'll be with you in a moment. Are you guys ready? Okay, well, so am I. So let's get into it. Here I come. Hola! From the West Side, guys. Happy Tuesday! Hey, Uppity. Hey, TC. I hope you guys have been having a good week. I know there is a lot of drama in these YouTube streets, but that's not what we're going to be doing here. You know, before I even start, let me deal with this. Go. Get the atmosphere together. So now tonight, you guys, I am not on camera because in the middle of doing my hair. But I want to talk braiding it back up. But we're going to talk about the new podcast on Spotify that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, has. She's put out 2 episodes of it. She had one that came out today, but the first one was last week with Serena Williams. And the one today was with Mimi, aka Mariah Carey. And they were on 2 different topics. The one last week was in regards to ambition. And today she was talking to Mariah in regards to divas and the definition of a diva and how it has changed. And, you know, I figure, you know, because I call myself a diva, you know, DC, the purple diva, but I'm a diva about purple. But it was interesting how they broke down things, and then they talked about, you know, them both being mixed chicks. And I wanted to also talk about, you know, Meghan Markle
and how she grew up in Los Angeles versus how people perceive that she grew up in LA. Now, I'm not from LA, as you guys well know. However, Meghan Markle was born in 1981, and I was graduating from high school and going to college, and I happened to go to college here in Los Angeles and was here during the time that she grew up, and am familiar with the part of town that she grew up in. And also, because I am a Catholic school girl myself, I can also kind of speak to her Catholic school, high school, and middle school education, and who her educators were, which were the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart. So I'm going to start out with talking about Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Because a lot of people have a lot of, different ideas in regards to who she is and everything. Hold on one second, you guys. Let's see if I can get this. Right, just see if I can get it up. Second. Let's see if it comes up. Get it. Find the part, find the pictures. That's one of them. Okay, I think I can do that. Oh, here we go. Let me do that. Over here. This. This. Share screen. Sharing. Yeah. All right, so, a lot of things have been, said, and it's a perception. So, as we see Meghan Markle in today's world, hey, Angel. This is the Meghan Markle that we're used to seeing, with the sleek down hair. But this is the Meghan Markle that grew up in LA, right there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. Yeah, now it's bigger so you guys can see it. And you can see she's got curly hair. Let me close that. I don't see that. And then where was that? Here we go. That's there. And another picture. This is the one. And this is her in high school. with her curly hair. In a little bit, Angel. That's fine. Yeah, in a little bit. Let me just kind of get my thoughts out in regards to this. But yes, absolutely. I'll drop the link in a few minutes, in a little bit. So, a lot of things have been said in regards to, our girl here, Meghan Markle. And in regards to, the fact that, she doesn't wear her hair in its natural state for the most part. But we all know she was an actress. Let me see if I can stop sharing. Stop sharing. There we go. Okay, so we know that she's an actress, and one of the things that we know with women who look racially ambiguous, which is what she looks. Honestly, a lot of people would not assume that she's half Black unless you see her with her mom, who she looks a lot like, by the way. But the perception is, by some, is that she kind of grew up in, maybe in Hollywood and around, the more around, the white people, but that's really not even the truth. And it's interesting if you go and you look at the royals.com on their website and how they scrubbed it nice, and they only talk about the fact of her growing up in Woodland Hills with her dad, her half siblings, and her mom. But her mother and father got divorced when she was 4. So clearly she didn't grow up in Woodland Hills. Where she grew up, and the place that her mom was still in, let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. I did all this on my iPad earlier, but we're not doing it. Let me see. All right, let me pull it up. So I'm going to show it to you guys. Let me share again. Drink some water. Okay, so see if I can make it bigger. This is the house she grew up in. Okay, so Meghan Markle yeah, we're not doing that. No, I don't want to see that. Okay. So Meghan Markle grew up in the Crenshaw area of Los Angeles. When she was in elementary school, I'd say grades 1 through 5, she went to this school in the Hollywood area called the Little Red House Elementary School. And I would say that school was probably more diverse as far as the kids that went there. It wasn't like a black school. And then the school that she went to from 6th grade to 12th grade is Immaculate Heart. And it is an all-girls high school. And I believe that it's boys and girls for like middle school. And then, after 8th grade, the boys have to go away. But I may be mistaken. It may be all girls all the way through. But the school that she went to was run by the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart. But this is where she and her mom lived. This is actually in the Crenshaw area in Windsor Hills, which is adjacent to Baldwin Hills, which is a predominantly Black middle-class area of Los Angeles. I'm sure you guys all saw in the movie Boys in the Hood, when they were on Crenshaw, with the cars. That was right around the corner from where Meghan Markle lived. So, although people kind of think about the fact that she, because she is biracial, that she may have grown up in a more clear environment. That's not the case, because she grew up mainly around her mom, who, as we all can see, wears her hair very ethnic. And thank God for that, because her mom was able to do her hair. She didn't have the nightmares that Mariah Carey had growing up, because her mom is white and didn't know what to do with all those curls that Mariah had. But so this is where she grew up. Now this is not the hood. Let me just say that this is not exactly the hood, but it's close to the hood. If you know the dynamics of Los Angeles. So what you have is that you have these couple of sections. This house is really adjacent, basically across the street. Angeles Vistas Drive, which is where this house is. Her mom doesn't live here anymore, so we're not doxing where her mom lives. But this Angeles Vista Drive basically is the street that splits Baldwin Hills and Windsor Hills. And then at the bottom of Baldwin Hills is an area of Los Angeles called the Jungle. And it's a much better place. It's much better than it was back in the day. But back in the time when she was, living with her mom in Windsor Hills, the name, the Jungle, should tell you that it was called the Jungle. And there was a certain type of folk that lived in the jungle. I actually had a boyfriend who lived in the jungle when I was in college. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So you had the hood that was adjacent to Baldwin Hills and Winter Hills, where she grew up. So she grew up in a black area. And her mom raised her, and she has chosen, to go with being mixed, even though she's estranged from the whole, white part of her family. But, that's the way that she identifies. And it was very interesting that, she talked about the fact that Halle Berry, on the other hand, who is also biracial, but whose mom is white, identifies as, as how the world saw her, as a black woman, because she has browner skin, and so she doesn't look as mixed. She doesn't look as mixed. But I wouldn't say that Meghan Markle's is running from her blackness, or that she doesn't see the effects of it. I would say she didn't see the effects of it really until she was part of the monarchy. Because, Los Angeles, and this is one of the things that I noticed when I first moved here in the 80s to go to college. Mixed relationships, swirling has been a thing here for a long time. Not like, DC, where I grew up, where it wasn't a thing, and, for a long period of time. Hold on, y'all. Let me come back over here. Let me mute for a second. All right, going back to where I was. Sorry, y'all. She has chosen the biracial route, and probably because, she didn't have to choose if she didn't want to, and that, that's her right. A lot of biracials do choose. They choose to identify as one or the other. Now, I don't know what that boy Connor Brown identifies with. I guess he identifies as biracial. I know who I'm talking about, the country singer. And obviously, Mariah Carey also does the biracial thing. But again, because she grew up in LA, and because she went to Catholic school, even though she's not Catholic, I can see her just identifying as biracial because, when she flat irons her hair out, as we can see, she's very racially ambiguous. And if you look at the acting industry, and I'm gonna come off of this. Let me just come back and stop sharing. I just want to show y'all, it was a modest 2-bedroom house. Now, because of where it is located, it's worth, like about $850,000 now, because that's location when it comes to real estate and where it's located in the city of LA. All right, let me stop sharing. Okay. So, although a lot of people get the perception that, she's kind of running away from her blackness, I don't think that's really what it is. I think she's just trying to be there in the middle. But with the flat ironing of her hair and wearing her hair a certain way, I think that's more conforming, because in the movie industry and in acting and everything, that's just, unfortunately, unless she's playing a role that's specifically, for someone who's Black, she's gonna be wearing her hair that way, because she's always played racially ambiguous. If you guys notice that, like when she was on Suits, I mean, we knew she was Black, but it wasn't very clear that her character was. And, because she's light-skinned and has freckles, and you know how they like to darken us up. Trust me, she's lighter than she looks in pictures. She's one of those, high, very, very fair skin. And so, yeah, I guess, because of that, it was probably, she wasn't, embraced as fully being Black. Whereas I have a friend, one of my best friends, who's also biracial. She grew up in DC. Now, my friend has blue eyes, and she has, like, I would say, a sandy blonde, dirty, really dark blonde, brown. It's light brown hair with like blonde streaks and stuff. She's always her hair's always been like that. But she grew up in DC. My parents, I didn't start out in the suburbs. We lived in the hood when I was younger, when my father was working towards being a doctor, medical school, internship, residency time. During that time, we lived in DC. And so she has always identified as Black. Obviously, she knows she's biracial. Obviously, she knows she's half white. But, she didn't grow up around anybody that was white. I mean, this is the era when DC was really the chocolate city. So, I guess that's also about location. And then, because she grew up here in Los Angeles, where, like I said, the swirling, it's a thing. It's always been a thing here, as far as I can see. And maybe because of this being, La La Land, things you could get away with that you necessarily couldn't in other areas. So, I think that has a lot to do with it. But she had heard her mom called the N-word. So she was very clear that even if society didn't see her as that, because, she looks racially ambiguous, they saw her mama as that. And as we know, when she got in with the Royals over in the UK, she heard that word in reference to her children. Who ultimately, if we want to, get technical, are probably racially no more than maybe 30% Black, because she's only 50%. It's usually 25%, but the way that genetics works, y'all, that even if you have one white parent and one Black parent, there can be more of a genetic mix of one of the or the other, and that will result in children that you have, should they be with someone who is, the race of one of your parents, having a more mix. So it's a high probability that those children are more than 1/4, even though she's only half Black. It's a funny thing about how genetics works. But I like this podcast that she has. It's called The Archetype. It's on Spotify. And I like the first two conversations that she had. Now, before I move forward, I have to put a pin in that. The high school and middle school that she went to, I didn't say this before, was run by the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart. The Sisters of the Immaculate Heart are sisters. They're Catholic. They're part of the Roman Catholic Church, but their academics and the way that they teach the girls is from a feminist perspective. So this is what she was getting from 6th grade to 12th grade. So she was getting more of a feminist kind of thing, with them. And as we know, the feminist movement, as I've said many, many, many times before, is not really, us women of colors. It's not really that's not really our movement. It's not really. It hasn't really benefited us. But I digress. But because of the teachings at the school that she was at, was one of the reasons why she did this letter to a national advertiser to change a national campaign that they had to gender neutral. It was a dishwashing detergent campaign that said women were getting on their gloves to wash dishes, and she wrote a letter to them, and they changed the campaign to people, because women aren't the only ones that wash dishes, as we well know, in the house or outside of the house. But I'm just saying that to say that that's how she grew up. That was indoctrinated in her. So it's kind of hard, I think, with that kind of upbringing, especially an American upbringing. And because of her growing up in Los Angeles, even though she grew up in a Black area, it wasn't only Blacks in that area. And because racial ambiguity is very accepted out here, she probably didn't go through a lot of some of the traumas with the light skin versus dark skin stuff, especially because she was in a Catholic school that was, not an all-girl Black Catholic school. It was, a mixed group of girls. It was mixed. It was a mixed set of girls. So I'm not saying that she didn't face a lot of, the R word ism, but I think that it was in her freaking face when she went to the UK. And I think she underestimated what was going on over there. How, the British they're ism, their ism it's not shown to you in the same way as it is here in the United States. It's not. Okay, so now let me get to my other ones talking about the archetype, and then Angel, I will drop the link and you can come up because I know you've been going through some stuff, So this new podcast that Meghan Markle has called The Archetype, I think it's going to be very, very interesting, and I like how it's starting out. Like I said, her first podcast was with Serena Williams, and it was talking about ambition and really talking about how ambition is perceived in women versus men. And, Serena talked about, how her ambition in tennis was perceived differently, than a John McEnroe. And, they kind of held her to a higher standard and expected her to not be that confident. And Serena actually said something on that podcast that sparked a light bulb in me. Because as we all know, she announced that she's retiring from tennis professionally. But she didn't call it retirement. she called it an evolution because she's just evolving to being a mom, and working on her other ventures, but being Alexa's mom, and I liked how she put that as evolution. And I think I'm going to take that because, I've been talking about, the fact that, I'm like basically 7 years from quote unquote retirement age. Although I don't look it. I always say that because God blessed me to look young. But if y'all see my dad, and he's in one of my videos from Black History Month, I think in 2020, or it could have been 2021. I'm not sure which one. But he's in one of those. My dad is in his 80s, and he does not look like he is in his 80s. So I got the good genes, I got the good genes. We just look young, and it also helps that, I don't have a head full of gray hair, because I'm sure if I had a head full of gray hair, I would probably look closer to my age. But we wash the gray out. And even if I don't wash it out, I still don't have a head full of gray hair. I still don't have a head full of gray. Either way, not a head full of gray. Neither does my dad. But I think I'm going to call it evolution, because our golden years is when we kind of evolved what we're going to do. Some people just want to sit around and do nothing. That's not going to be me. I'm healthy. Thank you, God. And even though I will be able to retire, I'm probably going to still be doing something, even if it's something for myself. So that is an evolution. I'm just moving to a different chapter. So I like the way that she called it an evolution. And I also think about, ambition and how it is perceived in us as women. And I remember at times in my own career, especially when I moved into, management positions, that it was harder for me to deal with some of the women that were under me at first, because they had a perception, or they had bad experiences with women bosses before. And that's probably because, a lot of us in our ambition, step on a lot of people, maybe take credit for other people's work. I'm not one of those people, but they had to see, that in everything that I was doing, I wasn't, I knew that my success was not going to happen without their success. And so maybe I learned to show my ambition differently. And so that it didn't look like I was, I don't know, aggressively seeking it, but rather driven, the way that they like to say it when it's a man. But I liked, the discussion that they had. You guys really should take a look at that, take a listen to it, because it's a podcast on Spotify. Now, when she had the discussion today, on the one that was released today with Mariah Carey, they talked a little bit about, the aspects of them being biracial. And I think I've talked about, her and the biracial thing. But they really were talking more about being about a diva, and how that word has evolved from its original meaning. Because a diva originally was about a soprano opera singer, who, was of a certain stature. It turned into that someone is, hard to work with because of women who were divas in singing, turning into, kind of believing their own hype and having demands and that kind of stuff. And now it is a term for, difficult women. Prima donnas, as they were like. Hey, Queen of Cali, how are you? It has to do with, with that. And, I call myself a diva, but I'm a diva about the color purple, because I love the color purple. I know I look good with purple on. Purple is a sign of royalty, and I see myself as royalty, being a child of the king. And I've loved the color my whole life, and I'm always wearing something purple. Until recently, my hair was purple. But, now we're back to our normal color hair. But I always have on something purple. Now it's, amethyst, piece of amethyst crystal that I keep around my neck. Pretty much. But, when I call myself a purple diva, I don't even think of it from the negative term. I think of it from the positive terms, because, divas are also considered like classy and stylish. And that's what because I'm a diva about how I put the purple together and just make that stuff look good. Whenever I have it on, it's always stylish. It's always on point. So, my diva ways are about my style. And I think that a lot of women who call themselves divas, that's their perception. But there's still this other perception out there as well. And, Mariah Carey herself has fallen under that quote unquote term. But interestingly enough, it is an actual name that women are given, that girls are given. I have a friend from Panama, and Diva is her given name. In Latin, diva means, goddess, like woman, and it's really talking about goddess-like statue as a singer. But today it has a whole nother meaning, and because of bad behaving, prima donnas, or in the entertainment world, and that has now spilled over to regular life, because people know people who act like prima donnas or divas at work, like their stuff don't stink and that they're perfect, or they have unrealistic demands on other people's time. Selfish, it's all about them. Sounds more like a narcissist to me, but they put that down as being, diva-like. All right, let me see if I can drop this link. Angel. Angel, if you're still here, I did drop the link. Hey, the ex-wife. How you doing, sis? But I think you guys. Oh, here he is. Okay. I think you guys are going to really like that. Let me Angel.
Okay, hope you can hear me there.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead.
Yeah, you probably either seen or watched it, but if you are subscribed to Misunderstood, if you know who she is, I was on her stream and you said I've been to a lot. Yes, I have. I got 2 copyright strikes because I did a response video stream to do 2 different ones where they wanted to try to talk about me. Like one had my title, my name in their title, and the second that they did was trying to make false statements and stuff about me. But over these past few days, I've learned that to try my best to ignore it. But just how can you ignore something that is so falsified and not true at all, especially from the autistic level, if you know what I mean, Purple Diva?
Yeah, some of these people are just ignorant, Angel. But most of us know you, and you do have to try to let the stuff roll off for you, but I know that it's hard for you to do that. Now, have you tried to appeal the
I did, but the counter didn't go through the first time, but the second time it did. But the person wanted to try to file legal action if I didn't personally fully removed it. Even though it was technically removed, if I didn't actually remove it, how it's completely kaput, he would have taken action. Legal action, that is.
Taking action for what? When you were responding to something that he said about you?
They and it's all because I mentioned the person's name that tried to tell me to leave YouTube in late December of 2020 there, or in December of 2020. I shouldn't say late, but I didn't say anything about him. I was just saying the fact on a stream from 3 months ago of this year if you ever remember the Coach Eli, I was on his stream back in May because he invited me for an interview there, and I was like simply addressing of how someone had told me that I should leave YouTube, and he took that out of context as though he had said that he had told me to leave 1 week before the interview this year, when I was simply saying the fact that he had told me that in 2020 of December. And the 1 week thing was actually me telling about how someone on Telegram tried to tell me to play in the streets there, which, what do you think it means, out of curiosity?
So is this Coach Eli that's trying to put a strike on your channel?
It was a different person.
Okay.
All because I mentioned the person's name on Eli's channel, that he didn't like his name being mentioned, all because I was answering an honest to God question.
Angel, here's what you do from now on. When you talk about that person, pick a name for them that's not their name and use that name for them. Don't use their actual name, and they can't say anything about what you're saying, because you're not using their name anymore. But you can still speak up for yourself. But that way they can't put a strike on your channel, because if you use a name that's far from them and just talk about the situation, say, I'm talking about a certain channel holder, I'll call them such and such. This is not their real name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean, but it's kind of hard. But I have to learn to do what you suggested.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Think before you. That's what I'm saying. Before, right now, before they come at you again, start thinking up a nice name that makes you happy. Well,
I already think I have the name for the person that made this picture, because the person, and it's not the person that gave me the strikes, the person that called me the demon and nicknamed me Goofy, made this picture of me, which I'm taking with stride, and taking it as a advantage there, because the person actually gave me a new profile picture that I've look to be amazing, because she thinks that, like, the way I frown is just my just me not being happy. Nah, you don't know the single thing about mood disorder or autistic people. We're not like your freaking person there, and I'm not gonna cuss, but you want to know something? Remember when I played the like little thing last year, and playing that? I want to play you something, if that's all right. That like we did last time. I forgot how we did it.
No, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it on another stream.
Or do you want to do it privately after here?
Yeah. After I close the stream.
All right, but I'll either stay behind backstage and let you do your outro when it's time. But there's just a lot that I've been through, and I've addressed said some of it there. And the other thing is if you heard me show my behind there, I mooned the person that made this avatar picture character of me, in addition to calling me a demon and nicknaming me a so-called Goofy, when I ain't even that, but I do at times, my infectious laugh.
Yeah, but don't moon anybody anymore, Angel. That's not
that's what I said, but the person thinks as though I will, and I'll play you when we end it here soon. But yeah, I've just been going through a lot with not only YouTube and my own personal life. My brother apparently is going through some stuff of his own that is making it uncumbersome for me, even though it probably shouldn't be worrisome to me. But also at the same time, I just don't want him to feel miserable, just like how he doesn't want me to feel miserable or feel as though I'm not welcome in this world, even though I am there by most people. But it's just I've been going through a lot, and it's just people don't realize how us as autistic people feel or react, if you know what I mean.
I understand, and the thing is that Angel, I'm like, you're nice, but everyone that's on this platform that has autism is not nice. Some of them are mean. You're not one of the mean ones, but there's a couple on here who are on the spectrum and they're just not nice people.
And I don't want to become that, even though I made some mistakes in the past that I regret and all that. But at the same time, there I meant no intent or anything.
Yeah.
But I just don't want things to continue on and all that.
Well, I mean, you started a new channel and everything, and I would say for right now, ignore their person, pay them dust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pay them dust.
Yep. And speaking of dust, that's what I think.
You wanna hang out up here? You can just hang.
Yeah, I'll hang up out here if you want to put me backstage so you can do your outro, because I'm guessing you're about to end it here in a few. Just put me backstage. I'll hang out there and get something to drink in the meantime, and we can do it privately of what I want to have you listen to.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You can stay there because I don't know how, because I might kick you out of the studio. I don't know how to do it.
There should be a thing that says put backstage over the little three dots. If you scroll your mouse, if you can, or if you're using your phone, go to that box of that person there, and there should be a thing that says put backstage again or something like that. And it'll allow you to put the guests backstage again and put them back as you did before.
Oh no, it's not it. Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
All right, I'll just mute then while you do your thing.
Mute. I don't know how to do it. Hey, watermelon sugar. So you guys, thank you guys for coming through. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation in regards to the archetype, Meghan Markle's, the conversations that she's had on there. I think the diva conversation today with Mariah Carey was interesting, but I really liked the conversation she had with Serena Williams on ambition, especially because they had this interview right after she had announced that she's retiring or evolving from tennis. She's evolving to being Alexa's mom. And you know what? Let me just say this. One of the greatest pleasures of my entire life has been being David's mom. Since he has come into this world, that's what people say. Hey, David's mom. I don't have a name. I don't have a name. But that's a part of motherhood. And if I had been able to be a stay-at-home mom and still be a career girl, and make the money that I needed to make, so that he could have the things that he has, I would have done it. But it didn't exist when he was little, but I'm able to do it now. So, it's all to the good. So you guys, I'm about to get out of here. I will come on camera for now. So y'all can just see me sitting here with my thingy on. Hey guys, see, told you, we're doing it here, yeah, because David wants to be seen. So you knocked the light off. All right, come on, just sit down. Look, he knocked the light off. You gonna put it back on? Well, don't worry about it. They can see you. Just sit back. There you go. Say hi. All right. Okay. All right. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I got it. All right. Lights back on. All right, you guys. So I will see you guys. I will be back on tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow Wednesday. I'll probably be off camera tomorrow because I don't think I'm going to finish my hair tonight. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. Check out The Archetype on Spotify. It's free. Let me get to my outro. All right, you guys, I'll see y'all. I'm out. Peace.
Well, guys, that's it for tonight's Not So Random Chat. But I'll see you guys the next time. Until then, peace and blessings from the West Side.